here's the map. So this is the Ingleby incline. In that video before, we went from Battersby all the way up to there. So what we're doing today, we're starting off here. We're going to have a look around here because there's so much going on. And then in the next video, we're going to come all the way up here. We're going to follow the line past Sheriff's Pit to Blakely Junction. And instead of carrying on to join up with where we were before with Ingleby, we're going to follow it all the way around here until we get to the East Kilns. And then what we'll do that as a separate video because again, there's so much going on there.
Need to stop me eating like this, and then by the fifth time it's just all.
Hello everyone, we've done our 2 videos down on the coast, Whitby to Scarborough line. It was kind of crazy in terms of storm Babet.
See you next time. What a horror show.
It's kind of a little bit of wind, but we're inland a little bit now. So we're in the Rosedale Valley. We're stood on the original incline, which was built in 1856. We're going to do, I think it's 3 videos, isn't it? Where we're going to look at Rosedale West, we're going to look at the kilns, and then we're going to come around, we're going to go to Blakely Junction, we're going to look at some mines there, and then we're going to come back around the other side to Rosedale East, and we're going to look at the kilns there. So much infrastructure. Phil is like the fountain of knowledge on this. It's going to be a bit hard for me to follow, so I'm going to be relying on you quite a bit, Phil, because there's so much going on. There's kind of ancient mines, ancient quarries, and then there's the railway that came here in 1861, so there's remains of that, and engine houses and all sorts going on. So here we go.
Busy times.
Busy times. We're going to get stomping. So here's the incline. This is the 1856 incline. Didn't last for that long, because then in 1858 they realised that they didn't need to use horses and they could use an engine house. And then in 1861 the standard gauge railway came. This up here, Phil,
Yeah.
you're saying that was a bridge?
Yeah, that used to be a bridge because you can't see it from here, but the track bed does carry on beyond and goes up to the engine house at the top of the incline. And that down there is about, I'd say, 1.5 miles long, and it was the Hollins mines where this really valuable ironstone was discovered by 2 chaps, one from Staithes, one from Whitby. When they found it, they'd been used it on some sort of turnpike roads or something, and they were ironstone exporters, and they realised it was unbelievable quality. They had it tested in a lab, it came back at over 70%, which is the unbelievable rich content of iron. Even a magnet would stay to it, so that's why the influx of all these crazy events in the late 1800s happened, and this place took off from 500 people to nearly 3,000 people living here, miners and all the rest of it, money goers and everything. Yeah, and this is the original one that started it off right down the bottom. Hollins Mines, named after a farm down at the bottom. So all up here, and then it all changed when the railway came. And that bridge there lasted until about, unbelievably, in this climate, early 70s I think it was.
Early 1970s?
Early 1970s, late 670s, it was still standing, yeah, it really looked dodgy as well.
Wow, okay, so the other side of that, there's some serious remains.
Yep.
If you've watched any of our previous videos, you might have seen us going up Ingleby Incline, which was that really crazy incline. We cycled it. We went where it joins the main line. At Battersby. Well, you cycled a bit of it, I walked most of it.
Almost.
And so then we walked up that incline, unbelievable. What we're going to do is we're going to go round towards that. We're not going to follow the route to it, we're going to go round towards that, because that incline actually is what got us all the way here. Okay, I apologise for the wind, but we're really high up. If you look at that, so we're very exposed at the moment, but you know, after what happened at Ravenscar in the last video, this is like Benidorm in comparison. These are the original Iron Kilns.
So they call them stone kilns to differentiate from the ones that were made with iron vats in them. They call them iron kilns, and you think, well, you know, why is one called stone kiln and one called iron? It's because the way that they built it, it contained steel structures. That's why they changed them. I guess you'd say that's a stone kiln, wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the iron ones are going to be
they're over east.
At Rosedale East. So that's where we'll be in a couple of videos. Right, let's have a look at this, because when we came up to the top of Ingleby Incline, there was one of these maps, kind of, you know, structures to show you how it was up there, and it looked great. No, not at all. So that's what this looked like then.
There you go. Bridge, that's where we are, that's it, houses. That's the main line coming in. Beyond there is the engine house, the chimney that got knocked down got blew up in 71, and the reservoir that fed the engine house, which is still up there.
And there's so much going on. Some of these houses are still here as well, aren't they?
Yeah, that's the kilns, that's the depot, engine shed, and various things going with it. So yeah, I mean they've gone now. There's a few of those still there. That's been blown up. That's still there. That's gone, but that we've just seen it is still there. Right.
So let's go and explore those then. So this is Bank Top at Rosedale West. Let's go and see what remains we can find then.
4 older than the other 4 as well. For some reason, you know, they added 4 on.
Let's take a guess. I'm going to go the left ones are the older ones. Correct. There we go. Not that I know anything about kilns.
Well, obviously they were doing that well with the amount of wealth that were being formed around here. I hope we need some more kilns. We're going to make these bigger to get more output.
Yeah.
That's probably why they're bigger. But I'm not an expert, but you'd have thought that's common sense, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. So there would have been tracks on the top, possibly, you know, narrow gauge ones, that would have brought wagons that would have then dropped the coal into the top to fire these furnaces. And here, there's a track bed where, see, what came out of those furnaces was then loaded up again and taken off. The weather's a bit grim, but in comparison to the last couple of videos, wow, that was next level. What's crazy about the amount of remains here, and also the amount of remains at Ingleby Top where we were before, is that this whole lot was done by 1929, like completely done. And in fact, a lot of it even went before that. There was just a little bit that kind of remained until 29 that Phil will kind of fill us in on later. But the amount of remains, bearing in mind we go walking railways that closed in the late 60s and there's nothing. But I guess because it's so remote, no one's trying to build a little on this, you know.
So when you look at these, you might think, oh, what's going off there? But this was a sheer wall in the olden days.
All the way
because
up.
of the terrain, the weather, everything's rotting. Oh, it don't rot, does it, stone? But you know what I mean?
Well, no, it's fallen down by the look of it. Yeah.
So this is weird to look at, but you have to understand that this was a great big, almost like a kind of tank, but in stone form, where all the action was going on the top, and stuff was being tipped in constantly, 24 hours down. I mean, can you imagine living here? You'd have glowing. I mean, I couldn't imagine what it's looking up and seeing. You just see a glowing hillside, basically.
Yeah, you would, yeah.
Clanging around, trucks, shouting and yelping. You know, all this is hard to imagine. Look at it. You can't hear a pin drop here now.
No. So down there's what remains of. There would have been more workers' houses there, but there are, I think, there's about 4 by the look of it that still remain. So me and Phil were chatting. I think last night we were talking about the fact that obviously in these workers' houses, if you were a family man, so obviously you had a wife and you had kids, that was different. You lived in your house. But if you were a single guy, they used to share not only houses but beds. So say if it were me and Phil, I'd work my 12-hour shift up here and Phil would be fast asleep snoring away, and then he'd wake up, I'd come in, probably pass you at the door, say hello mate, he'd come and do his 12-hour shift and I'd just get into his bed that was still warm. So as we were discussing, I dread to think what the sheets look like.
Yeah, well, these workers who were doing that were drifters. They went where the work was. They were probably, you know, they were in different areas. They might have been even tin miners, but they went where the work was. So
yeah,
don't really bother about conditions the same as what we would do. You know?
No. But what a way to live.
Yeah, this is part of it where it's hauled up to the engine house.
Yeah, so where we started the video, where we did the introduction, there's the bridge down there at the bottom, that incline, and you can just, you can, it feels right. You can make it out coming up. If I turn you around, coming up here as well. So this is where they would bring coal up, so they could obviously then chuck that coal down and fire those furnaces. The wind is a bit nasty, I'm going to try and shelter that if I can. So up there was where the engine house was. Phil was saying that, they knocked down the chimney, saying blew it up in the 70s, and there was a bit of uproar about it, but the landowner didn't want to deal with it. So I think while they were, umming and ahhing and trying to save it, he just blew it up anyway. Because once it's blown up, isn't it? That line, this is a line by the way, not a road like it is today. At the end there, went to these coal merchants. They were bringing coal up then from Teesside because it was better quality, and it would come down here. We're basically now on top of the kilns. The kilns are just there. You can't see the top of them yet, but we can walk over in a second. And down there, that corner, that's where the line goes off to Blakely Junction. So that's where we'll have a bit of a stomp in a bit. But let's go and have a look at these kilns as best we can. Phil's found a mushroom. Should we test it and see?
No, it's not edible, mate.
I kind of want to see what happens though.
What's his name?
Bear Grylls, yeah, Bear Grylls would have that. Bear Grylls has probably got a Burger King in his bag and when he's walking around, let's have it right. So there we go, we're on the top of them But as Phil was saying, like, you know, these arches that you see now, it was built way up on top of that. Again, the wind is absolutely atrocious. It's mad to think this is, you know, I mean, this is pushing 200 years old, this. And it's just right there. Incredible, really. When was this then? I thought this was 1850 odd.
Yeah.
So 175 basically.
I'm not sure if the calcite on the first patches they were bringing from there. They might have gone out in the raw form. I don't know when these came in, whether it was just as the railway came up. They probably were doing it before, but you know, it's 1870s and it's 67, so yeah, it's a fair way. Look at that.
You can see little bits of iron sticking out there.
What's that health and safety not got to do with it?
They haven't. There is absolutely no fence. See you later.
So this is where all the business was happening, wasn't it? You know, it was throwing God knows what down here, the finished product from the mines and coal to get it. I guess they'd have to have a coal lit all the time, wouldn't they? Because they went out.
Oh, if it's working 24 hours,
They went out, that's it, they've got to start again and they'd lose production, slow down, everyone would suddenly come to a stop, people would be, you know, coming to a standstill.
Yeah, that could happen. Incredible. Okay, so I've just come down off the top of those kilns there. So the line goes behind that, and this is a siding that would have come down the front there. And if you follow it here, we can join up with that main, I say main line, but you know what I mean. And Phil says there's the remains of some you know, good shed, engine shed?
Loco maintenance shed, two lanes just along here. Well, I mean, them working rounds there went all the way to the trees, look over there. A much longer road, as you can see, it's kind of flat. So yeah, these were saved. I mean, I don't know who worked, who actually had them houses, because look, they wouldn't have been direct, they were lucky, weren't they?
They're nice houses though, yeah. Well, they'd have had outdoor toilets as well, wouldn't they? These extensions at the back. The wind's getting even worse now. So this was the engine shed. So here we go, we've got this line here coming over the top. That goes there to those coal merchants. The one goes down, you can just see it slightly lower, following it down. That goes to the front of those kilns. And here's this engine shed. Unfortunately, the stonework from this, so the actual building itself, was taken down in the 1930s, I think, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah, 30.
And they actually used the stone to build a village hall down. Oh wow. So that's the base of a pillar, I'd say.
Oh, is it not a valve? An outlet valve? Is it a water supply valve?
Oh,
There might have been a standpipe on that.
I'm pretending I know, like I'm talking about.
But you can see the two tracks, can't you? Look how they used to come in.
Yeah.
And that's still standing, like that section there. But it's a bit weird because the track was fairly wide. So why is that banged there?
Yeah, and there's a bit going on up here as well. But yeah, they took the stone, and the village just at the bottom of the hill, trying to you know, cover that as much as I can, try and save some of the noise. But there you go, look at that. But yeah, they took a lot of the stonework, or at least the decent stone, and used it to build the village hall down in the valley, which I'll whack a picture up of that. So that flat bit of land there, that was houses as well, so that just continued on a big long terrace. And there was some stairs that came up directly into that engine shed, but they may have been lost to the elements. So you see those trees? Let me move my finger so I'm actually on them. There, bosh. There's a quarry there, and then there was a horse-drawn incline that came up here, and Phil's saying we reckon that, and it's a pretty good theory, that actually the stone out of that quarry is what they used to build those kilns, because you ain't going to be wanting to lug stone miles and miles, are you?
Well, there's stones for this, stones for engine shed, there's stones for structures, this, that and the other, and then it's a ready-made source. Someone's been down sourced it and said, okay, let's work out how to get that up. And as you said, it was horse-drawn. It went to horse going up the hill, obviously, but it was powered by a horse at the top, some way or other, horsepower, shall we say, to haul them up, you know, to think what it was like.
It's not quite as bad as it was up at Ravenscar in terms of like the sheer power of the wind and stuff like that, but it's a lot colder. And bearing in mind we're only in October and these people working here, you know, 365 days a year, so what it must have been like here in December, January, oh mate, I can only imagine. Right, what we're going to do then, we're going to have a look, just where this line kind of then goes off. Let me turn you around so you can basically get a bit of an idea of where we're heading in the next couple of videos. I'm talking. Sheep's gobbing right off at me. Okay, again, apologies for the wind. I'm just going to keep saying sorry for the wind. Over there, basically, that's where we're heading. But obviously the trains, you know, once it became standard gauge proper railway, can't be going down there because that's not going to fly. So we have to go all the way around the valley. So it's basically, we're going about 1.8 miles away, but it's going to take us the best part of 10 miles to get there. So that's us, that's Rosedale West Kilns, and the little bit of remains around there. Thank you so much for watching. What we're going to do now for the next video is we're going to get stomping on that kind of 9 mile, 10 mile stretch over to Rosedale East. We're going to look at the kilns there. We're also going to look at some mines and all sorts. There's lots going on. Anyway, we'll see you next time.